we'll start with the courtyard and, well, at least its current state. As you can see, and as I had promised from last time, I had built most of it now, except for this little section here, because I'm missing more of these 2x3 slopes, which I have ordered now. And you can see right now the support there a little bit. I did mention last time this kind of line over here in the courtyard that I have noticed in the pictures, and I've decided actually there was a really good way to get around that. So I basically decided to use these 1x3 slopes in tan. And that actually worked pretty nice, because the way the math pans out, you can't really use only 2x3s, because one section needs to be either a 1x1 or it has to be converted into a 3x2. And since it kind of bothered me to have all rows of 2x3s and then one row of 1x3, I remembered that I was thinking about this little element here, and actually it really worked out. And obviously we're going to do the same over there when we finish building it. And as I mentioned last time, this is whole movable into 6 very easily removable sections. Here, over here, and then the same goes over here. This is one section, this is another section over there. And it's really nicely working for me. Really pleased the way it panned out. Very easy to remove and very easy to place back into place. I have also increased the height of these pillars over here, adding this kind of a 1x1 with I don't know what it's called, with kind of the torch attached to it, and obviously I've placed a little candle there, a little bit of flavor, because these top sides here should reach the border, and they were a bit too short now that I had placed the roof, so decided to make them a little bit higher. And this also allowed me to add this little bit of extra detail. The next thing that I want to show you is this rock section over here. Now this is from the back side of the Great Hall. Obviously when you're entering, when you are with the boats, you're coming from the other side, and this is kind of the rear end between this connecting building to the grand staircase, which will be here. So since we don't really get to see the side anywhere in films or whatever, I decided that it's a good opportunity for me to kind of experiment and put the little spin of my own here. And what I've decided is to cover the whole rock framework here, because the way I had placed it, the building that is we can't really have the same pattern over here, because this ends over here, since we will be opening the kitchens from this side. At least that was the initial design. And I really wanted to use that disadvantage and turn into an advantage, as I usually try to do, and have this kind of rock pattern come from below and cover the places where it kind of didn't really fit. So it resembled an illusion of the building actually being built on top of this rock structure, at least from this side. And I did my best to kind of still have a few hidden windows. So basically to kind of just have the feeling that this is very natural. And obviously here it's not finished, because I've not really made up my mind whether I should kind of continue this or I should put a little kind of alley where students can walk. I decided just to hold on that and at least build a little bit of the grand staircase and see what should be over here. And since this is kind of something that is not the main focus, is basically filler, I should kind of make the buildings first that surround it completely before I let my imagination roam, so to speak. But roughly I'm imagining a little alleyway here and kind of extending the rock pattern over here. And it's very important that while we're doing this, it looked very natural, and also not to kind of disrupt the integrity of the movable tray that is the kitchens, because still this is perfectly easily removable, and you can see the kitchens from over here. Now with one hand I'm using this support from the side that I've left, and yeah, you can still use the kitchens and not added any interior as of now, but the time is coming. It's coming where we'll be working on this room very carefully and adding a lot of detail. But yeah, it was very important for everything to look natural and for this tray to kind of be still separate to the rest of the kind of building, so this can be pulled out and then easily you can slide it back in like so. Now over here, this is the back of the Great Hall. These windows I had initially placed, if you remember, seems like forever ago, just to kind of conserve pieces because this was going to be hidden. It actually really worked out because this whole structure is very heavy now, and once we add all the minifigs inside and all the food and other stuff, it's going to be even heavier. So kind of pulling it from here, as we did before, is not really a viable option. Like, there is so many rocks here, it's kind of, although it's solid enough, it could fall apart, at least part of it anyway. So this actually serves very nice purpose now, because you can just put your hand here and kind of very carefully and just push it from the side. So yeah, that worked out really nicely. So instead, we're going to have the rock pattern here as well. This is going to be covered, but instead it's going to be this kind of modular side structure, which is going to come from here to probably over here-ish, which is going to be on just a few studs, mainly tiles. And whenever we have to kind of get into here and pull the tray out, we can just pop it out, put our hand there, and once we're done, just put like a little cover on top again, and it will be connecting over here to look again very hidden and natural. And that shouldn't take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And yeah, I'm gonna do that soon as well. Now, the main thing is the roof. Well, the base of the roof, should I say. Now, I've been talking about this for a long time, and let me tell you, this took quite a lot of effort and quite a lot of work compared to what I had in my mind. I thought this was going to be like a few hours of nothing really special, but it turned out to be a couple of long sessions, and I didn't even have to go back almost at all because they had things kind of planned out. But even that, it cost me a lot of time to do. I don't want to say how many hours, but it yeah, it took some time. Now, one of the challenges was for this building to kind of look natural, the roof part, because in the pictures we have this roof kind of coming up to here, and I really wanted to use the same level of the roof kind of to look very natural and not to disrupt with this pattern over here. So we have two different roof patterns that shouldn't really disrupt each other. So what I ended up doing is basically, this is the roof as it was, and we kind of built the end of it on top of the Great Hall building. So now when the building itself kind of goes into its place, which I am trying my best to do with one hand, this kind of section is the end of that roof, and that's the way it should be. It kind of goes up to here from the pictures that I have seen. But I didn't want it to cover everything, because obviously when you have it in a normal model, you kind of covers this side here, but I didn't want to do that because it's going to look very weird. When in Lego, I kind of wanted to stress the pattern over here and just to everything to look nice. So this way it's kind of a middle ground, and I think it looked it ended up looking very nicely. Now, as I had explained previously, I my plan was to make this kind of hat, as you can see from afar. We have now this structure, which is very sturdy. And on top of it, we're going to build the roof hat, which is going to be kind of this maybe 2 or 3 different blocks of tiles and bricks and plates. The bottom is probably going to be plates, and that's going to be removable in sections similar to this. And the idea was to get the height right, because now we have, if I can show you, yeah, over here, basically, if you can see over here, we have two plates of height remaining here. So basically now we put one layer of tiles over here, so it's nice and smooth. Maybe initially it doesn't really have to be full, like we need to cover the edges obviously, but maybe the insides, at least for the time being. If I don't have the pieces, we leave them hollow. The important thing is that we have the border kind of just so from afar it looks like it's solid and enough tiles to support the height and the weight of everything. After that, we're going to have another layer of the base plate that is going to be the bottom side of the hat. And when we put that, we're going to get exactly up to here, which is going to be the beginning of this next brick. And then we'll just follow the pattern of a slope and then a brick. And that, if I had calculated this properly, which I think I have, this will kind of meet the height that we need, following these pillars from both sides. Now I'm thinking about whether there should be one and then another one, or maybe we should divide them into 3. Haven't really decided. This is what I have made for the little, I don't know if they're called towers, these little kind of window sections. We have basically 3 rows, one at the bottom, another one in the middle, and another one at the top. And we have 6 on each row, and then the same with the other side, with the little exception is over here that I left blank. We have this chimney that's coming out of the fireplace that's in the great hall. That's why we have this section here where the fireplace is. And then we have a little chimney which removes the window that should be there, so one less window there. And also there isn't a window over here where this building roof meets this roof. And I decided not really to experiment, so I've kept the original design. Over here on the other side, we have the full kind of 6 pieces. And over here I haven't really built it yet because I think I'm missing a window frame like this, and just don't need really. I have these pieces in the mail. We'll build them very soon. The more important thing was to build this kind of construction, and what I've done is I've used, well, I don't know, it's kind of cryptic to explain, but basically we have these bricks on the inside, these slopes, and we have these archways, then these arches, then we have these Technic bricks over here that kind of connect to each other, and we have them kind of one section is this, like half of this 4 is 1, and then it goes up to here. So technically in the beginning this is one piece, and then as we build up we make it different. For example, instead of this being one piece, this becomes one piece, and at the same time they are connected to this construction over here, roughly, very, with just a few plates, but it's enough. So this way it kind of really condenses and grips the whole construction together, because it's very massive and it needs to be kind of held. So the sturdier it is, the better. Plus, when we do get to pick this up sometimes to move it or anything, or to clean it, it will be important not to fall apart. Very important, actually. So this way it's very, very sturdy, and I think I haven't picked it up yet. I'm kind of afraid how heavy it will be even without the roof, but I will tell you once I do get to do that. Now this side here is a bit different, and I was thinking whether I should keep the same pattern all the way, but then I kind of went against it, because over here you actually get to see it as you open the doors over here, and it needs to be very important this to be kind of different, because the doors go up to here, and you need to see kind of something that doesn't break the immersion. These gray things, they don't work. So I decided to make a separate construction, and this is going to be a separate hat over here in these 10 bricks. It's going to be over here, plus it's going to connect to this over here and press against this other module, so it's very sturdy. And over here, it was a real challenge to do it. I know it's kind of dark, but I've ended up doing some things like adding 2 more slots for stone knights, which I will place eventually. I have added this little circle shape with the Hogwarts emblem, and basically just so you can kind of, when you enter, you kind of see a normal castle. You don't see something sticking out. And yeah, I think it worked out very nicely. And it was also very important to kind of build over here, because we had nothing here. Basically, we had only this one by something going from this pattern over here. So I did my best to replace it and to kind of build on here and connect to here. So it really, again, following the same logic of gripping things together and making things sturdy and stuff. One thing is that over here, well, I just knocked out this thing with my hand, is to make this layer over here, this one row in tan, because otherwise you will see that there is dark bluish gray. And also we'll probably have to replace these inner plates in tan, because otherwise this will be visible. But that's just finishing touches, really. And yeah, now we cover everything in tiles and we build the roof hats. Again, we'll have to keep in mind that we can't really simply put this pattern that we've made. We have to keep integrating into even intervals these little windows. So we'll have 2 more rows here and then 2 more rows here. Here we don't have one, but then we have 2 more, and so on. And I think that will hold its own challenges as I build, but yeah, that is hopefully going to happen very soon. I just wanted to show you a little view from over here, which is the entrance of the castle. I know it's a little bit dark currently, especially now when we have let me just try to adjust, there we go, when we have the roof on top. But basically, see, we only thing that we see there is this kind of pockets from where the statue should be, so that will not be visible either. And yeah, I decided to add 2 more. It just seemed like we have the space, so why not? Plus there should be statues all the way up to the ceiling. And yeah, I think it turned out to be okay. Now I think I should be replacing this circular piece in, it should be in reddish brown. I think it will work better. And let me show you from over here. That is the corridor that you can over here see. Not too well, but yeah, I should maybe get like a little flashlight just to show you better. But it's very important to be able to see this little corridor here and to follow the logic of minifigs being able to interact. We don't want any closed spaces. And this thing is becoming pretty big. I starting to get worried a little bit, and I'll have to rearrange my stuff again, my tables, because we're running out of space as it is. And now we're over here in the back, and I wanted to show you how it looks from the inside with the construction. Again, I wanted to keep it kind of aesthetically pleasing inside, so because this is the view you'll be getting usually when you want to kind of interact here or play or whatever. The other side you can only open the doors, and over here you kind of use this larger space to put your hand in, change minifigs, whatever, clean if you will. And it was very important to, to look aesthetically pleasing over here. Now the only problem is these Technic bricks are sticking out, but we replaced them with 2 by I think 10 is that, which I have ordered, and I will just place them, and you will not see any of that black kind of sticking out. One thing that I have placed is that little pattern over there above the flags, and not sure what that should be. It looks like some kind of demon or whatever, but it's something I came up with, and it just didn't really mean anything by it. And I think again it will look a lot better in dark, not dark brown, in reddish brown, which will go along with the these pillars over here and these arches in the windows. So yeah, once I get those pieces in the proper color, I'll replace them. But I think it just adds a little bit more of detail there, and plus it leaves the studs there to place something else in case I ended up not liking the pattern or wanted to change it. It's important for me to kind of leave these options, because when you're working on something this big, very often you can't really go back, at least not very easily. I have always tried to build in a way that I can go back if needed without much hassle, but there are just some sections that are so covered by bricks it would be a nightmare to do so. And yeah, it's always nice to leave options open, some wherever possible, of course. And very, very soon we'll be adding minifigs over here. We'll be filling these tables with food and whatnot. I'm really excited doing that, but it takes different kind of mood to kind of start something like that, when I can't really build exterior for days and think about roofs and math, and then trying to be creative in a different way to thinking how I should be placing food on tables and just to create these atmospheres. It's kind of different vibe to it. At least for me, it's kind of difficult to switch. So when I work on something on the outside and I have to kind of build in that way, I just try to focus on that. So when we focus on the interiors, we'll probably be working on the kitchens and the inside of the great hall, filling these corridors over here with something, and also the floor here. I want to put some nice rock patterns there. We'll probably do that before placing any minifigs there. And yeah, this is what the castle looks like currently. I mean, it just keeps dazzling me as I look at it. It's just really pleasing, all the effort and all the time that I've put into this now for the past, what is it, almost 6 months. And it's going slowly, but things are always changing and facing different kind of problems and tackling different just issues while building. But it's often frustrating, but it's very rewarding when you manage to kind of just make something work and to be pleased with the end results. For example, these towers, I had to change them a little bit again, because we had the backside was again 1 by 1 over here sticking out, and it was kind of hitting the roof slightly. It was very slight interaction of the pieces, but I didn't like it, so I ended up removing it. So instead of these kind of L-shaped arches, we used one that's a straight line. So again, we have the same pattern over here, but we don't have the backside. And yeah, it's very nice. And also the fireplace, I had initially moved it from here to here, if you remember, because just the way the room inside panned out, I kind of wanted the fireplace to be in the very middle. But then it turns out that it's just on the outside. If you look at the original building, we have a row of 4 windows and a row of 4 windows here. So if it was here, it was going to be, you know, annoying or wrong, whatever you want to call it. And I decided, well, it would either look bad from the outside or wrong from the outside, or it will not be dead center on the inside. And I decided that it would be better just to be not really dead center inside and on the outside to be accurate. So I think it's the right call there. And I think that about sums it up. This, as I said, took me quite a while to build, maybe like 2-3 sessions with more than 5-6 hours each. But I think it's panning up very nicely. And I'm really excited to hopefully show you next time the finished courtyard over there, the finished roof. And I don't know how exactly I'm going to tackle this roof hat. I mean, in what kind of succession I'm going to build it. I'm thinking whether I should start building this separate one first, or maybe leave it to last and build this side first. Haven't really decided. So since I have been building quite heavily last couple of days, I will kind of let it rest for a little while. Probably I will see if anything comes to mind, maybe some little changes here and there, kind of let my mind relax a little bit. And plus I will need to wait for some pieces to arrive, and then we'll see how things pan out. I'm not really rushing it, and really want to enjoy the process. But as usual, you can expect next update within the next 10 to 14 days if everything is fine and dandy with me. I shouldn't be I'm always busy with other things, as every adult person is nowadays, but I try to keep kind of a close schedule on my life whenever possible. So you should really trust me when I say an update should be coming in the next 10 to 14 days, and I will do my best to honor my word. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little preview. I know some people have told me that I don't show everything sometimes. For example, somebody said that they didn't remember, I want to see the kitchens or something, and they couldn't find really, they spent 10 minutes to looking throughout the videos to kind of see when I show the kitchens. But, and I understand that it's a valid point, but just the castle is already so big that if I show every little detail every time, plus what I've built, these videos will not be 20-30 minutes each, they will be hours, and I don't think people want to watch that. The videos are already pretty long as it is, and I'm actually thinking of ways of making them a little bit shorter, because people's attention span, it's just so much that they can, afford out of their day to watch YouTube. But yeah, I'll always am open for suggestions. So if you have any suggestions about anything, my videos or the castle or my building or anything, feel free to share them in the comments. Really appreciate you liking and subscribing. If you can manage that, really means a lot. And I will see you next time. Hope you enjoyed, and all the best. Bye for now.